Hello, brovs. I know I just posted a video a couple hours ago with new arrivals, but I since went out and bought a shitload of more books, which were unexpected. I only expected to pick up probably 10 or 15 at the most, and actually picked up 8 copies of one book. At Salvation Army. 7 soft covers of A Creation of His Own, Tappan's Detroit Observatory by Patricia S. Whitesell. And the Detroit Observatory was built in 1850, was started in 1852 and finished in 1854 at the University of Michigan by obviously Henry Philip Tappan, the president. And yeah, I saw 8 copies and I said, I need them. The best part was I got a hardcover too. So 7 soft covers and 1 hardcover. Brilliant, bruv. I'm not really all that into astronomy, but that's Detroit history and Michigan history. And I would have got 2 of them each, and I figured if I sell one of them, I might as well buy the other 6 so someone else can't sell them and undercut me. There's about 5 of them on eBay, so if I could make $10 off that, I get all my money back plus $5. So that's that on that one. Here's an all-time classic, C.S. Lovett's Help Lord, the Devil Wants Me Fat. A scriptural approach to a trim and attractive body. I believe I have this somewhere, but maybe I sold it. I think I did sell it. Train's raging. Where's your weight heading? Down? Your head to the same weight you had when you were 22 years old, assuming you were lean at that age. No, can't really sell this one. It's got a bunch of highlighting, but you never know. Maybe somebody wants it. Look at that gruesome illustration. Who did the artwork? Illustrated by Linda Lovett. So C.S. Lovett must be the dude. Dr. Lovett and his wife, I guess. Maybe his daughter. And those illustrations aren't bad. They're not great, but that first one was just ghoulish. Well, that's brilliant right there. Too tired to live. So yeah. The Tao of Jeet Kune Do. Bruce Lee. I didn't originally have this book, but there was a guy there named Bill, and he wanted to tell me about his collection. And I told him, he goes, how many books you got? I go, 5,000. He goes, come on, man. He wasn't black, but he said, come on, man. And I was like, yeah, buddy, that's what it is. He goes, are you selling them? I said, I do sell about 5 books a month, maybe 5 to 10 at the most. But no, the 5,000 books are mine. What are you going to do with them? I said, I don't know. My kid will deal with them. I will sell them at some point. Once I start getting too old and senile, I will sell them. But yeah, he's like, you know who Bruce Lee is, don't you? I was like, fuck yeah, everyone knows Bruce Lee, blah, blah. Then he claimed that Bruce Lee was killed by some nefarious forces, and I'm not opposed to that idea. Decision at Delphi by Helen McInnes. Straight from the bestsellers list, another magnificent novel of suspense by the incomparable Helen McInnes. There were 2 other books by her, but this one I would say is the only one that fit the gothic romance profile that I'm looking for. The other ones just look like sort of mysteries, but this one gives the gothic romance, although I don't think it really is. But it's also an older one too, so yeah. Then I got some V.C. Andrews. It's weird because as I stated earlier on my last one, that I watched a vlog about a book haul from somebody's vlog from thrift stores, and they found some V.C. Andrews, and they mentioned they They like these ones, only the ones that have this inner page where you can see the face through it. And then now I've suddenly found 4 in less than 24 hours. This one's got a faux window. The Private Elvis, torn from the intimate diaries of Mayman and originally published as Elvis and the Colonel. From first kiss to the death that rocked the nation. I guess it did rock nations. Raspbeans. I'm in the army now. Elvis trades his blue suede shoes for combat boots. Obviously, you know everything about Elvis there is to know, more or less. Erasmus and the Northern Renaissance by Margaret Mann Phillips. Teach yourself history. Obviously a vintage book. 50 cents, can't go wrong. 1949. 75-year-old book. In good shape. Not really sure who Erasmus was. I thought he was a philosopher, right? Or was he a religious philosopher? I think he was a religious philosopher. And we got some writing. It doesn't matter, buddy. It doesn't matter. It's a nice hardcover for English University's Press. Frankenstein. Got this one at another thrift store. And why has it got dates on there? It's fucking weird. What does that mean? Oh, did they read them on those dates? That's fucking weird. There was a little hot black cashier girl that she's like, I just read Frankenstein. It's kind of weird. I was like, yeah, I haven't read many of these old classics. She's like, it's not like scary. And I was like, yeah, no, Dracula wasn't scary either. More psychological. She'll let her talk more, and then flirted, but I didn't want to be a creeper. Since she initiated the conversation, even though I did mansplain to her. I kind of just took over the conversation like a dickhead, but whatever. I didn't want to tell her, hey, I didn't really read books when I was younger. I read newspapers, but that's the way it was. Now, this one, I've never seen or heard of this sort of series. The Van Dyne Collection. One woman died for Eric's love, and can Carolyn win him and live? It's very gothic looking. A Magnum Gothic original. Carolyn Dodge considered herself unlucky in love. She had been forced to choose between marriage and the pursuit of the only career that had interested her. And when she hesitated at making such a drastic and final decision, Andre walked out of her life. What a prick. That had been in Paris, and the shock was enough to send her back home to America, where she tried to forget romance by pursuing her interest in art. The job offered to her by the Yves Saint Jean's gallery seemed heaven-sent until she was thrust once again into a situation that could only lead to involvement with a man she wanted to love. Again, Carolyn was forced to choose, but this time it was not her career that was at stake, it was her life. And the deeper she became involved in the mysterious affairs of the Van Dyne family, the more it seemed that someone was determined to see her dead, and she was certain that the someone was the man she loved. The man she loved. Interesting. The Dark Side of Camelot. Bumbling fuck me. I have so many Kennedy family books that I probably have this one, but it's in pretty good damn shape for a vintage book. When is this, from the middle 60s or early 70s? Middle 70s. Yeah. This is in great shape, so I couldn't pass it up. Even if I do have it, it's probably not in this shape, so now I have it. This one, The Cricket in Times Square by George Selden. I picked up at, oh, look at this. Long, a smile costs nothing, but gives much. It enriches those who receive without making poor those who give. It's written on Christmas 1963 for Bradley. Bradley no longer. Oh, wait. Do we know Bradley's name? Bradley Caprath. Dude, I have one of these, don't I? A Boy in a Book. I think I do have Bradley's book somewhere. I'm going to have to look that up. That's fucking brilliant. I could have swore I had one of these before. How can they slowly still be trickling in? Maybe Bradley's just getting rid of his old books. Maybe he's rereading them. But this is an early edition, probably a $20 book. I've never read this book, as I've said. I did not read books when I was a child, beyond like the Dr. Seuss and that. And then I read baseball books and played baseball. We didn't have time for reading. I read the newspapers, and that was about it, because I delivered newspapers, so I read them. That's where I got my sense of alienation from this planet. I was lucky enough to never ever read. Probably read some series books, but I don't remember reading them ever. Except for The House on Windy Hill, which I read the first few paragraphs, first few pages 500 times, but never could get past it. It was so boring it put me to sleep. Yeah, I might sell this one. I do like the cat's face looking through there at the mouse holding a miniature tornado or drinking a cocktail or something. Karimora by Thomas Harris, obviously the author of The Silence of the Lambs. I've never really followed him, but I don't think he's had many books since Silence of the Lambs. Obviously the Hannibal ones, and Black Sunday I recall, but I don't recall another book by him outside of those. I could be wrong, but according to that, it seems to verify that. Let's see what it says on the back about him. I don't really care about. That was a $1 book. He's the author of 5 novels. Yeah, he's only written 5. It's the long-awaited return of an American master. Cool. Another copy of Complete Stories and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. I have so many different, not so many, but about 10 or 12 volumes of Poe's works, various formats, and probably, and look at old cassette label or cassette jacket for the little cartridge case. I don't know if I have this exact book, but it's possible. I think it's 1966. Doubleday and Co. 1966. Basic Writings of Nietzsche. When I was talking to the guy at the thrift store, he was like, "You just had to have this, don't you?" But he was like, "I don't have to have it. I'm just getting it because why wouldn't I? If I found a $5 bill on the ground and someone said, 'Give me 50 cents, you can have that $5," I'm taking it. Plus, I like Nietzsche. And look at this. The sticker's going to come off easy because it's got a Borders. Can't believe Borders failed. How could a place like fucking Borders fail? Other than, I don't know how they failed. They had the online market. Weren't they primarily selling through Amazon? I think what killed them was when they allowed individuals to sell on Amazon. So I used to sell, me and a buddy, I moved to Vegas to help him, and we sold books, and we sold a shitload of books. Probably $1,200 a week. Yeah, we were selling a lot of books. Online orders, 25 or 30 packages a damn day going out. He would list stuff, and within hours, you just get 10, 20 sales. It was insane. But then smartphones kind of ruined that. Patrick Radden Keefe, best-selling author of Say Nothing, Empire of Pain, The Secret History of the Sackler Dynasty. Sackler name has adorned the walls of many storied institutions: Harvard, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Oxford, the Louvre. They are one of the richest families in the world, known for their lavish donations to the arts and the sciences. Oh man, the source of the family's fortune was vague, however, until it emerged that the Sacklers were responsible for making and marketing a blockbuster painkiller, OxyContin. Oh no. That was the catalyst for the opioid crisis. Empire of Pain is the saga of 3 generations of a single family and the mark they would leave on the world. Honestly, the OxyContin isn't the problem. It's the doctors fucking pushing it. Doctors, which is why I don't usually go to them unless I'm like dying, they will push every motherfucking drug there is because they get a kickback, and that should be illegal. You shouldn't be allowed to get a kickback out of a drug. So whenever they push me, I'm just like, no, I'm going to do it naturally through healthy eating and exercise, or I'm going to die. I'm not taking these fucking death serum pills or shots. As I said, if you're having a fucking heart attack, you don't really have a choice, but if you're just having whatever. The Shadow of William Quest, John Bainbridge. Don't really know anything. Obviously, this is kind of like some kind of fucking third world press re-releasing this book that probably didn't sell well in the past. Or maybe he sells his own. I don't know. Gaslight Crime, 2014. Maybe he's not a big seller. I don't know. I probably should have looked it up. It was only a quarter, so I just said, fuck it, I'm getting it. At the store, the guy who I talked to mentioned that he had picked up this book and put it back. He's like, I don't need another copy. I was like, the fuck you don't, buddy. I said, well, I'm going over there. I will pick it up. And sure enough, I found it. He was not fucking bullshitting. He probably didn't pick it up because it has writing in it. He claims he didn't sell or doesn't sell, but then again, I did tell him that basically a 1 pound book ships in the $5 range, so I guess maybe he didn't know. Told me a shitload of books. He had on, what's it called, Edgar Allan Poe portrait painted by somebody from the Raven's View that he would sell me, but I'm not giving you my fucking number, buddy. Not giving you my number. So yeah, Schopenhauer. Obviously a philosopher. Classic stuff. Vampire Stories by Women, edited by Stephen Jones. I don't see that I have this book. I got Girls' Night Out. Got a couple of books on women and vampires. But I don't think I have this one. Terrifying tales of the undead by such mistresses of the macabre as Anne Rice, Tanith Lee, Chelsea Quinn Yarbrough, Poppy Z. Bright, Nancy Collins. All these names sound very almost paranormal romance-ish. Besides Anne Rice, who was kind of like the queen of that. Vampire Kings of the Goth Chicks. Maybe I'll read one of these. How short is it? It's not very long. Well, if I can find one of these that is not on YouTube, I will read it. If I get a strike against me, oh well. So yeah, Vampire Chicks. This book, I believe I already have a copy. Evil Thing, A Tale of That Devil DeVille Woman. Isn't this Cruella DeVille? No, know I have a copy of this because it's worth like $8 or $9. And since I saw a second one, maybe I can sell them both together. Evil thing. Maybe I don't have this one. Maybe it's a different one as I spit on it. Definitely have Witches by Roald Dahl. I've mentioned it in a previous post, and I believe I do have Joey Rhea. Joey, I have your book now. No, that's not the one that smells like. Something smells like cigarettes over here. The Black Donnellys. Thomas P. Kelly. The terrible Donnelly feud, by far the most notorious and violent in the history of Canada, began in the spring of 1847, only a few hours after James Donnelly, an Irish immigrant, first arrived in the town of Lucan, Ontario. It lasted nearly 33 years and was marked with murders, gang wars, highway robbery, mass arson, derailed trains, mutilations, and barbarisms paralleling the Dark Ages. The name Donnelly was synonymous with fear until one man formed a plan to destroy the Donnellys, a plan that was to go down as one of the bloodiest massacres in history. The Black Donnellys by Thomas P. Kelly, first published in 1954, was reprinted 29 times. It became one of Canada's all-time bestsellers before going out of print in the 1980s. Now available once more, this new edition will bring a fascinating and gripping tale to a new generation of readers of true crime. Never heard of these guys, but it's pretty cool. True crime, buddy. And it's got the tombstone on it. That's nice. Forgotten Prophecies of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Unlocking the Final Jubilee of the Church Age. Oh, this is only volume 1. Josh Peck. I Lost Prophecies of Qumran. Thought I had that some bitch up here somewhere. I bet you I do have that. Mayan code, shit, blah, 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 blah. I'll find it somewhere. Sounds very familiar. I guess I could have checked the ISBN, but I did not. I like the end time theories. I've never really read about them, but I collect them, so one day when I'm like 80 years old, I can read them. Chicago Haunts. I thought I had this book, and I took a chance that I did not have this volume, and it turns out I have, you can see it right in the middle there, right there, Chicago Haunts 3. So now I do have Chicago Haunts 1 and 3, I believe. How nice is that? Mount Carmel's Motley Crew. Cool beans. Ephemeris of Chiron. It was crazy. I was just looking at Barbara Ann Clow's Chiron that is on my shelf right there. Oh, there goes my thing. Where is it? Up there? Let me see it. And now there's that. Hello, Allie. I don't know what any of this bullshit means, but I looked the book up and it seems to be worth 10 to 15, 20 bucks. If I ever get into astrology, I assume that's what this is. Let's see what it says. Planets Minor Ephemeris Astrology. Yeah. So if I ever get into astrology, I'll have this book on the ready. Pretty interesting. I went to a thrift store that usually has no books, but another thrift store that I went to earlier today, which usually has books, has not had them the last few times, at least no new arrivals of any consequence. So maybe they're going to start putting them in this closer thrift store, which I used to go to all the time because they used to have a shitload of books. They used to have huge troughs I would dig through, but then it kind of died down. But now they seem to be restocking that store, which makes sense since they closed it for a year and a half and remodeled it to make it a boutique. But yeah, 50 cents for these, each for these books, most of these, with the occasional dollar book or 60-cent book. Unbelievable. That's all, bros. Goodbye.